Billy Bishop.
What's good? What's the deal?
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
We've got you down here. Finally, got you in for an interview with WH. We've got Alex from Sticks and Pits. We've got Nietzsche one in the building as well. Banknotes alongside.
All my guys.
Everyone's here. Just a few questions so we can just go through. So obviously I know that everyone knows, well, a lot of people in the city know who Billy Bishop is and what he's actually done for the city itself. But I just want to know, you're 4 mixtapes deep at the moment. So can you tell us the process from your first mixtape, Humbly Conceited, up to circa 94, and what's actually changed from the first point onwards?
I feel like my creativity is what is elevated to that point where I am now.
Okay.
So 4 mixtapes deep, I feel like with all the progress that I've done with like the tapes and whatnot, I just work on a hands-on level, you know. So I make my own instrumentals, I write my own lyrics, and I just been getting better to that point.
How long have you been doing it for? How long have you been making beats for?
Close to 9 years now.
9 years?
Yeah, I want to say like 07, 08.
Okay, so is that when you first started making music as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say the scene's like? Because if you've been making music for that long, why hasn't it grown enough in the city itself?
I just feel like everybody's too comfortable. People get to a certain point and then just plateau. They don't really go nowhere after that, you know?
In what sort of way?
In a way where it's like, I could reach everybody in Calgary and then do 10 out of 10 shows or do 2 Towers shows, and I really won't go anywhere. But if those platforms really, not to say that it's not what they're not doing, but if they decided to take the artists out opposed to keeping them in, maybe we would go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like if instead of us opening, I would like to, instead of opening for an artist here in Calgary, open up for someone in Vancouver. But someone like 2 Towers, a promotion company who has that ability to do that for an artist, just doesn't do it. So the artist just couldn't.
Well, to be fair, not to even downplay on anyone, everyone's got their own methods of doing things, so we can't actually, like, you know, pigeonhole everyone. But how can we change that then? What would you say to any of these companies or any of these event planners, anything? What can we do in the city now to actually change it and to broaden the horizon?
We could definitely continue to work together and like discuss this, because I feel like there's not a community where we can all be open and discuss things. Like if I have a problem with 10 out of 10 or with 2 Towers or with One Entertainment, not to say that I do, but if there was hypothetically a problem, then it's like we should be able to get together and speak about it as a community, as an industry, you know, as a scene. But no one, whenever they have an issue, they just decide to isolate themselves, and then you got the people over here that work and then the people over here that work, but we're all in the same city. No one wants to get together.
So you've named about 4 names. Why isn't there just one big umbrella company where everyone's working together in Calgary? That's one thing since being here myself, and I just don't understand why there isn't one big team and everyone's eating together.
Well, that's what I was saying in one of the previous videos we did at the Powerhouse, when I was like, there's no corporation or big industries. Like in New York or LA, there'll be like a Def Jam building, you know? There'll be like a Sony Entertainment building. So when you go into these places, all these different like promotion companies or artists or whatever it is can go to these buildings and they can cooperate, they can collaborate, and they can work. But here in Calgary, we don't have a central station for all these people to go to that can like be an outlet for everybody to work together. Everyone wants to do their own thing, and there's nothing that'll bring us together. Like to stick the glue, you know, we don't have an adhesive.
So are there any artists at the moment from Calgary that's actually made it out?
I mean, just hip-hop?
Hip-hop wise, is there any rappers that's actually come out? Because obviously meeting you guys and meeting the guys that we mess with, I know who's got talent, but I haven't actually seen who's the bigger talent. So who do you think to yourself at the moment has broke Calgary?
I mean, I don't think anyone has broke Calgary. There's people that have reached Calgary's limits. Like, you got Banknotes, you got Will Hayes, you've got, I want to say me, but I'm not in that generation, because there's the guys who are older than me that have reached a higher point, you know. Then you have like Benny J and them, like, they've all reached a certain point, but they've never broke that sky, you know. So there's no one really besides those guys or a few others that have reached that limit. Everyone else just is at that point, and then
glass ceiling,
stays there.
basically.
Yeah. Because, like, to me, if you were to ask one of my favorite artists, I would go Cello, Noah J, Banknotes, Cloudy. That's my top 5 right there. But no one has actually broken Calgary. No matter how much they could be best artist or not.
So with the talent in the city, why can't we? Who do you think's the talent in the city at the moment? Apart from yourself, who would you say is the upcomers in regards to new school?
I would say Cloudy, NZ, Noah J, Jackie R, and I don't know. There are a few other names, but not off the top of my head at the moment. Those guys right there, that are like in the new generation, because they're the guys.
Older generation, then, do you think? Here's a question: with the older generation, because obviously I've met a lot of the older artists in the city, and there's only a few I've come across. So you have the Banknotes, you have Chopper, you have a few artists that understand what they need to do in regards to music. But we all know that life comes in and hits us at one point, so we have different priorities. But they know exactly what they're doing. So is there any artists in the city that are older that you think can break Calgary at this point as well?
Depends on the demographic. If they could reach the demographic like Banknotes, if he could reach the people who he's talking to, he'll definitely break out. The same with Will Hayes even, because he's got a certain sound that people will fuck with, but he's just got to reach those people, you know? So in my eyes, I see like Cash Bradshaw, Jay Thaddeus, I see Freeze. They can really break it if they reach the people that they're trying to reach.
Okay. And what would you say are the negatives in terms of the hip-hop scene in Calgary? Because one of the things that bothers me is the fact that an artist, if you're going to get booked for a show, first of all, you're not getting paid. Second of all, I've seen that a lot of artists have to sell tickets to be on the bill itself. So can you explain that to me?
Man, you got to stop doing that. You guys got to stop doing that. Because to me, like, as an artist, even if I'm not popping, like, I could be a nobody, but that's my time being spent. You know, if I go and apply to work at McDonald's, that's a minimum wage job. They'll still pay me regardless of my labor, my effort that I'm putting in. So being put on the stage, I feel like being told that you have to sell tickets is kind of an insult, because you should know the artist. If someone is approaching me to do a show, he shouldn't tell me that I have to sell tickets to do that show. He should already know me and be like, okay, just bring you and your people, and then move on from there. And if we have to pay, the payment should work on based on how many people the artist could bring. Because I could pull like 20 to 150 people depending on the night. So it's like, if I could bring 150 people, you're paying me regardless. You know? But artists don't speak out.